Welcome everyone to our channel. Now I'm going to talk about the most gruesome experience in human history. The most gruesome experience in human history. Experiments were originally carried out for the sake of science, for the benefit of humankind, in order to make human life better. However, that is not the goal of the experiment below. Experiments of the human body. 1. Contraction to access stamina. About 400 creepy experiments that really is a terrible obsession with thousands of victims. The father of the experimental program was Marshal Himmler, commander of the Gestapo force, the most brutal armed organization of the Nazis. As a victim are prisoners of all ages, without exception. Elderly, young, girls, boys, though healthy, were forced to inject blood gruesome into their bodies with increasing dose. Then their body must be exposed to freezing cold in the snow. Many men were contracted mercilessly or were shot bullets containing toxins. The purpose of this bizarre experiment is to just to assess a stamina of the human body. 2. Light surgeries. The idea of this crazy experiment comes from Unit 731, which is the secret force for research on biological and chemical warfare, and is also the most notorious unit of war crimes committed by Japanese fascists. The victims are no other than ill-fresh prisoners. The scientists have carried out surgeries that leave on those prisoners without anesthetic to study the diseases. They cut open the middle parts of the prisoner, then implant the rickettsia, fever, and cholera. Those who survive will be harmed to death. 3. Sterilization test. This crazy experiment that is against this natural law was passed by the Nazi Presidency Defense Prevention Law on July 14, 1933, with the purpose of avoiding vaccinating resources from being passed down to the next generations. And 300,000 people in the concentration camps then become unwilling experimental objects. They were brought into the room and had to fill out a registration form for the purpose of following them. Sterilization products include X-ray surgery, tissue drugs or injection or anti-exuberant nitrates into the body. This leaves serious side effects like vaginal bleeding, severe abdominal pain or cervical cancer. Thereafter, the doctor here referred to the radiation sterilization. They made the room contaminated with radiation and completely sterilized the prisoner. Some suffered severe radiation burns. 4. Experiments on twins. That's Dr. Auschwitz Nazi. Joseph Mengele was the father of this experiment with the aim of finding similarities and differences in the genes of the twins. About 1,500 twins were seen to serve the experiment. They were all looking embarrassed through the process. The doctor here performed extremely skilled methods. Inject dye into the eyes of the twin to monitor whether the discoloration of the eyes takes place. Blood transfusion between two blasters between to check blood compatible. And more frightening is to stitch the twins together to create control twins. In the end, only about 200 pairs survive. 5. Experimental addictive drugs on monkeys. The monkeys were experimented with the sole purpose of proving the effect of the drugs on humans. The methods used in this experiment have gone far beyond the ethical standards of animals. The monkeys are training to inject drugs, cocaine, codeine, alcohol, and amphetamine by themselves. Once mature, still injectable, it may give them a large amount of medication to use. Of course, monkeys are addicted then have negative reactions such as washing their hands. Conversion when using cocaine, removing naltrexone, the aim and stomach, breaking the finger by hallucination. If a monkey uses both cocaine and morphine for 2 weeks, he will die. 6. Experiment fabricating spy case. So US government wanted to chase the spy cat. So we conducted the training experiment for a cat for 5 years. Not only did they stop training, they also blend the wiretapping device and curb the feeling of hunger inside the cat. It was a better power dampener implanted inside the poor cocktail. The experiment failed miserably. During an experiment on the street, the cat jumped onto a taxi and died on the spot. 7. Experiment on rabbits. The purpose of the experiment is to measure the extent of the skin knee rotation. Damage to sensitive tissue and toxin of various substances to descomatics. Apples use substances that are directly corrosive to test the eyes of many rabbits, thereby evaluating how the eye's tissue is damaged. After getting the chemical smoke without the help of tranquilizer, the rabbits almost immediately let out cry of pain, even breaking their neck or back from trying to struggle prior to Richard's inducement. After the experiment, this rabbit faced pain from a rash, edema, pulse, ulcer, hemorrhage, and blindness, which could even lead to death. 8. Experiment using restraint methods. This experiment applied to monkeys. They will be locked in a tight, closed cage and then pressed. In addition, they were also injected with ketamine, sedative to limit the reaction. Despite the pain the monkeys suffered, experts continue to use the nerve gun to damage the monkey body just like the real patient. Then try many different types of medicine to treat the disease. 9. Make cats into phones. In 1929, long before the Animal Protection Association was formed, Ernest Landweber and Charles Bray decided to try to convert the flesh and blood cats into a normal human communication device. After partially removing its skull, they inserted directly into the right auditory nerve groove and the cat's body. They are connected by an 80-meter cable leading to the amplifier speaker system in the isolated room. When a person speaks into the cat's ear, that sound can be transmitted through the speaker into the room for the other person to hear. The records show the sound quality is absolutely clear. Our content is well perceived. They also note that these methods can be used for soundproof environments. In particular, after destroying the test subjects, they also repeated the number of times and realized that only living things can transmit signals. 10. Dogway to Hess. Born in 1918, right after the Russian Revolution, Vladimir Demikov was a scientist specializing in organ transplantation on animals from the years 1930 to 1960. Although he is now highly one of the most prominent pioneers, with horrific experiments with drugs have inadvertently left a difficult stand to eras. One of them is an effort to try to combine two dogs into one. His surgery was done by stitching the heart of the 9-year-old sucker dog onto the body of another older dog's prosaga. It is known that they had previously spared the artery, vena cava, and the spinal column connected to subca needs to be able to connect its heart to prosaga body. Surprisingly, two-headed dog was able to eat and function normally, even though only 4 days later they died. However, it is worth mentioning and frightening here that Demikov continued to conduct many more similar experiments on many different dogs. hope you like this and just like and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching and see you later in the next video.